"The ruins are up there," she promised. "I saw them in Count Tropus's blade. And you heard what Hazel said. The biggest—"
"The biggest gathering of evil spirits I've ever seen," Jason recalled. "Yeah, sounds awesome."
After battling through the undergrowth of Temple of Hades, the last thing Jason wanted to deal with was more evil spirits. But the fate of the quest was at stake. The crew of the Argo II had a big decision to make. If they chose wrong, they would fail, and the entire world would be destroyed. Piper's blade, Hazel's magical senses, and Annabeth's instincts all agreed. The answer lay here in Ithaca, at the place of Odysseus, where a horde of evil spirits had gathered to await Gaia's orders. The plan was to sneak among them, learn what was going on, and decide the best course of action, then get out of there, preferably alive. Annabeth readjusted her golden belt. "I hope our disguises hold up. The suitors were nasty customers when they were alive. If they'd find out we're demigods—" "Hazel's magic will work," Piper said. Jason tried to believe that. The suitors, 100 of the greediest, evil cutthroats who'd ever lived. When Odysseus, the Greek king of Ithaca, went missing after the Trojan War, this mob of B-list princes had invaded the palace and refused to leave, each one hoping to marry Queen Penelope and take over the kingdom. Odysseus managed to return in secret and slaughter them all. Your basic happy homecoming. But if Piper's visions were right, the suitors were now back, haunting the place where they died. Jason couldn't believe he was about to visit the actual palace of Odysseus, one of the most famous Greek heroes of all time. Then again, this whole quest had been one mind-blowing event after another. Annabeth herself had just come back from the eternal abyss of Tartarus. Given that, Jason decided maybe he shouldn't complain about being an old man.
"Well,"
he steadied himself on his walking stick,
"if I look as old as I feel, my disguise must be perfect. Let's get going."
As they climbed, sweat trickled down his neck. His calves ached. Despite the heat, he began to shiver. And try as he might, he couldn't stop thinking about his recent dreams. Ever since the House of Hades, they'd gotten more vivid. Sometimes Jason stood in the underground temple of Hyperius, the giant Clereus looming over him, speaking in a chorus of disembodied voices.
"It took you all together to defeat me. What will you do when Earth Mother opens her eyes?"
Other times Jason found himself at the crest of Half-Blood Hill. Gaia, the Earth Mother, roused from the soil, a swirling figure of dirt, leaves, and stones.
"Poor child."
Her voice resonated across the landscape, shaking the bedrock under Jason's feet.
"Your father is first among the gods, yet you are always second best. To your Roman comrades, to your Greek friends, even to your family, how will you prove yourself?"
His worst dream started in the courtyard of Sonoma Wolf House. Before him stood the goddess Juno, glowing with the radiance of molten silver.
"Your life belongs to me,"
her voice thundered.
"An appeasement from Zeus."
Jason knew he shouldn't look, but he couldn't close his eyes as Juno went supernova, revealing her true godly form. Pain seared Jason's mind. His body burned away in layers like an onion. Then the scene changed. Jason was still at the Wolf House, but now he was a little boy, no more than 2 years old. A woman knelt before him, her lemony scent so familiar. Her features were watery and indistinct, but he knew her voice, bright and brittle, like the thinnest layer of ice over a fast stream. "I will be back for you, dearest," she said. "I will see you soon." Every time Jason woke up from that nightmare, his face was beaded with sweat. His eyes stung with tears. Nico D'Angelo had warned them. The House of Hades would stir their worst memories, make them see things and hear things from the past. Their ghosts would become restless. Jason had hoped that particular ghost would stay away. But every night the dream got worse. Now he was climbing to the ruins of a place where an army of ghosts had gathered. "That doesn't mean she'll be there," Jason told himself. But his hands would not stop trembling. Every step seemed harder than the last. "Almost there," Annabeth said. "Let's—"
Boom!
The hillside rumbled. Somewhere over the ridge, a crowd roared in approval, like spectators in a coliseum. The sound made Jason's skin crawl. Not so long ago, he'd fought for his life in the Roman Colosseum before a cheering, ghostly audience. He was not anxious to repeat that experience. "What was that explosion?" he wondered aloud. "Don't know," Piper said, "but it sounds like they're having fun. Let's go make some dead friends."